Welcome back to another lecture about ethics and professional conducts, and today with the two concepts of ethics and deontology. Let's start with the concept of ethics through its etymology, definition, and some examples. Ethics come from the etymological Greek word ethos, which means way of life. They were the Greek philosophers Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle who laid the foundations of ethics as a philosophy branch that focuses on human behavior and, in particular, the conduct of individuals as in society. So we can define ethics as a reflection that examines the rational justifications of our moral judgments. In other words, ethics is committed to reflecting on the relationship that exists between humans and the world. Ethics is developed through a personal process of analysis and questioning of what is good and what is bad. It doesn't simply follow and impose established rules, but seeks to question them, to understand their foundations, and to evaluate their relevance in specific situations. It emphasizes each individual's ability to reason in order to choose from the various options the one that seems most appropriate or relevant to the context. It is therefore a reflection that reflects our principles, values, and practices at every moment. Ethics always seeks the answer to the question, what should I do? So remember this as a guideline. Ethical questioning always seeks the answer to the question, what should I do? When faced with any situation, generally imposing a choice between two extremely delicate and contradictory options. Ethics is therefore not biology or physics. It is neither action nor interaction, but rather a questioning and reflection that guides you in your actions and decisions and allows you to distinguish between what is good and what is bad. This reflective nature of ethics justifies its presence in all areas of life. Since human questioning has no limits, thus we can have ecological ethics, so how we respect nature, digital ethics, how to behave and act on social media, medical ethics, how to treat patients, for example, warfare ethics, where it is strictly forbidden to kill women, children, the elderly, and prisoners of war, which would apply during the Gaza war, etc. Applied ethics touches on different areas of life. For example, professional ethics such as higher education, organizational ethics, environmental and social ethics, and we have political ethics. Let's take an example about the political ethics. In the United States, members of Congress must not under any circumstances engage in financial transactions that are influenced by decisions made by the Congress. For example, a politician who can influence the price of food products or technological product must never invest in a company that uses that product. This is an ethic that didn't have a legal text, so it is political ethics. So what are ethical principles should universities follow? The university is a special place because it encompasses a wide variety of personalities and moralities from different localities and origins. And there are many internal and external changes that affect the university. For example, globalization, which is particularly evident in large universities worldwide and especially international universities. Competitiveness, which is particularly evident in the competition between students and between researchers. Massification, which is reflected in the large number of students each year, which poses a problem of employability. Entrepreneurship, led by the ministry with the creation of many businesses or startups based on students' work. And governance, given that universities bring together large numbers of students and numerous teachers and employees, they must be governed effectively. And to ensure that all university functions are moving in the right direction, we must return to ethics whenever we face disruption or shortcomings, because it is ethics that guide us towards the right actions. So, what are ethics principles? Ethics principles are considered benchmarks for our actions in society, regardless of the conditions around us, whether social or professional. For example, we must not lie or steal the work of others. Kant emphasizes the principle do not do to others what you would not want them to do to you. And we have in Arabic a golden rule says treat people the way you want to be treated. The idiom take the high road means acting morally superior or dignifiedly, especially when faced with a difficult situation or conflict with someone. It implies choosing the right thing to do, even if it is not easy or popular. In short, it means to act in a morally right, respectful, or ethical way. The expression comes from the idea that the high road is safer, clearer, and more respectable than the low road, which suggests bad behavior, revenge, or dishonesty. So, how to approach ethics dilemmas thoughtfully? We need first to know the meaning of an ethical dilemma. An ethical dilemma is an issue, problem, or concern in your decision-making process, in which neither choice you make offers a great outcome, also called a moral dilemma or ethical paradox. You often face these challenges in professional settings. For example, you might be a witness to ethical dilemmas or get asked to do something you think is wrong. You, your concern might be whichever decision you choose could lead to repercussions for yourself or others. When faced with the suspicion of unethical behavior in university, it is essential to approach the situation thoughtfully and consider several key factors before deciding whether to speak up or stay silent. You should first verify the accuracy of information and evidence supporting your suspicions. Ensure you have concrete facts rather than relying on hearsay or rumors. Then, you ought to evaluate the potential impact of unethical behavior on individuals, university, or stakeholders. Consider whether it poses risk to safety, legality, financial stability, or reputation. You must familiarize yourself with the university's policies and procedures and determine whether there are specific channels or protocols in place for addressing such concerns. You need to assess any potential risks to your own safety, well-being, or career that may arise from speaking out about the unethical behavior. Consider whether you have adequate support and protections in place. And you have to reflect on your ethical obligation as a member of the university society at large. Consider whether remaining silent would compromise your integrity or values. Recognize that speaking up against unethical behavior can contribute to fostering a culture of integrity and accountability. You're supposed to anticipate the potential outcomes of speaking up, including investigations, disciplinary actions, or changes in workplace dynamics. Consider the short-term and long-term implications for everyone involved. You have also to decide whether to address the issue internally through university channels or escalate it externally to regulatory authorities, legal entities, or the media. Evaluate the potential consequences and effectiveness of each approach. It is preferable to consult with trusted colleagues, mentors, or legal advisors to seek guidance and support in navigating. At the end, when considering your options to resolve the ethical dilemma, the value theory approach means selecting the option that offers the greater good or lesser evil. This can be helpful when neither of the options is ideal. Now let's know about deontology and discover some of the differences between ethics and deontology. Deontology is derived from the Greek word dion, which means duty. Deontology, literally the study of duty, is an ethics approach that is focused on duties and rules and emphasizes the importance of following moral rules and principles, regardless of the consequences. The most influential philosopher associated with the deontological way of thinking was Immanuel Kant, which was born in 1724 and died in 1804. Academic deontology encompasses the ethical principles and standards of conduct that govern interactions, research, teaching, and the responsibilities of members of the academic community. This includes elements such as academic integrity, adherence to professional standards, and the teacher-student relationship. Let's compare between ethics and deontology. This table shows the major differences between deontology and ethics. Let me take as example the first difference, which is that deontology emphasizes duty and rules, but ethics focuses on more principles and values. And we have deontology doesn't consider consequences, but ethics considers consequences. And if we speak about their applications, deontology is commonly used in professions such as law and medicine, where adherence to rules and duties is crucial for maintaining trust and integrity. And the same thing for university. For example, a doctor who follows the Hippocratic Oath is practicing deontology by prioritizing the well-being of their patients above all else. Ethics, on the other hand, may be more relevant in fields such as business or politics, where decisions often involve weighing competing interests and values to determine the best course of action.